Brilliance Audio presents Forgotten Legacy by Perini. Performed by Lauren Ezzo. Rusted cars and twisted metal stretched out for hundreds of feet behind the chained and padlocked gate of the bankrupt salvage yard. An iron cemetery of sorts. FBI Special Agent Riley Lambert gripped the fence. On days like today, she couldn't help but despise her ability to place herself firmly into the mind of the worst kind of killer. 3 days ago, Riley had left Singing River, Wyoming, for Washington, D.C., to review the meager evidence in a series of kidnappings that had terrorized Baltimore and the surrounding counties. All the women about the same age, same build, all commuting late at night, all vanished along with their vehicles. No signs of struggle, no clues, no bodies except the unrecognizable, mangled remains of Tiffany Hoyt. And even then, the evidence was scant to nothing. 48 hours later, after little sleep, she'd lucked out and narrowed the suspect pool based on the social media video of a truck towing the latest victim's vehicle. This morning, she had identified the prime suspect. Now, bumping up on noon, she could only pray Sarah Ann Conway was still alive, somewhere in this maze of metal carcasses. Riley peered through the torrent of steel skeletons. The view would give anyone nightmares, and some of these vehicles could very well double as coffins. If she was right. She tensed her fist. The fence's metal sliced into her hand, but she didn't feel a thing. She could only gaze through the chain link. The forensics team had identified the rust and 3 types of automotive paint from the victim's home, which suggested the kidnapper frequented somewhere with a lot of old cars. Add that to the evidence of industrial oil used in railroad cars embedded in their suspect's shoes, and this was the only location that fit the profile within the triangle of his abduction zone. The victims were here. They had to be. She peered at the seemingly endless rows of empty chassis, acres of them, stacked 10 feet high at least. The pulsing throb of a headache hadn't receded. Footsteps padded up behind her. Riley recognized the rhythm. Her back stiffened. "You sure this is the place?" her boss asked when he stopped at her side. "It'll take days to search, and tonight's my 30th anniversary. If this turns into a snipe hunt, I'll be paying for it on the home front for at least a decade." She ignored the skepticism in Supervisory Special Agent Tom Hickok's voice. She recognized the tone. Her old boss didn't doubt her theory. He doubted her hope. Riley fought to stay calm. She knew this case was a test, one she needed to pass. Sarah Ann Conway was kidnapped a week ago. The others were taken every 7 days. We only found the first victim's body, and Harrison likes collections, so I think he kept them alive. Until he needed a replacement. Riley dug her thumbnail into her palm. Since he hasn't had time to come back and kill her, she still has a chance. "Your theory hinges on your positive identification of Joseph Clyde Harrison," Tom said. "And since he jumped off that bridge, so we couldn't arrest him, much less interrogate him, this case is all on you, Riley." "Thanks for the vote of confidence." He gave her that "can't you play by the rules once" look, and she dug her nails into her hand. "Everything about him fits my profile," she countered, pretending she wasn't trying to convince herself more than her boss. Her assumptions about the disappearances in Baltimore and the surrounding counties had to be true. Highly educated, yet he settled on a banal job. He separated himself from his family, ostracized himself from any relationships except those his mind conjured. He was delusional, yet functioning. You saw his apartment. She chewed on her lower lip and cast a sidelong glance at Tom. "Harrison smiled directly at me before he jumped off that bridge. I think he knew she was still alive. I think he was taunting us, daring us to find her before it's too late. I won't let him win another one. Not this time. Sarah has to be here."